Deathgate is one of 3 games that was sold as a package. The others were Companions of Xanth and Shannara, which we will be getting to in time. But right now we're playing Deathgate, which is based on a book series, the Deathgate Cycle. I am Mors Radis, and with me is...
Rulebook heavily, hey.
He has read the Deathgate Cycle, I have not.
Of course. Actually, all of the games are based on novels, which is kind of strange, but the Deathgate Cycle is a 7-book series. How do they fit that into one game? We'll find out.
They cut out a lot. But we are going to begin watching. I expect that you've seen the intro video already. If not, you should probably go watch that, because it's actually pretty important, and it's only 5 minutes long.
And also a lot more interesting than what you're about to see, so, you know.
Yes, it is much more animated than what we're going to be watching in now. Or, excuse me a moment, now. So, here we are in Czar's room. This is Czar. He is the guy who helped us out at the beginning of last video. These are our movement controls. We can go in any of the compass directions, up or down, if those are available directions to us, and we can use these verbs to do stuff. And
these are basically
magic.
text adventure things, so... Magic.
And you cast magic with runes. You construct some runes to try to do spells. Not all rune combinations are viable. You have to make the lines connect. And even that doesn't always work.
This rune system, you know, it sort of encourages you to play with it, but at the same time it doesn't actually reward you for doing it.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and they could have done a lot more with it. Right now, Haplo only knows 2 spells. We're Haplo, by the way.
That's heat.
Yep. And if you add this rune, it becomes cold. These are the only 2 spells Haplo has ever needed in his life.
Including within the deadly confines of the labyrinth.
Now, in fairness, these are extremely versatile spells, because they can do massive temperature differentials, but, yeah, these are it.
I mean, what else do you need in life? You need to be cool, and you need to be hot.
And
makes perfect sense to me.
Haplo has those covered. We can ID any spell that we know if we set up the runes and hit identify. It tells us what they do. Beyond that, you really don't need much in this magic system.
Yeah, it's basically a secondary inventory system. Or sort of a verb system of its own. Like, you have look at, you have give, you have heat.
Yeah, it's basically just additional verbs. Lord Czar is the best sorcerer that the patrons, our race, has ever had. He was the first one to get out of the labyrinth, he helped us get out, and he's the only one here that knows what's going on, because Haplo sure does not.
Best sorcerer is relative. Very relative.
Yeah. You can cast your magic on just about anything in the game. Most objects have some sort of text for you doing something to them that doesn't do anything useful. And we just stole one of Czar's light bulbs.
By the way, spoilers, we're gonna get a ship.
Yeah, the light bulb is because he forgot to put one in our ship. That's all the light bulb is for, and we could poke at either of the 2 light bulbs, but we always take the one on the right because they didn't want to draw the scene with the other one missing.
It was all I could do to repair your heart rune and heal you.
Anyway, Czar's going to talk to us now for 20-something minutes.
Yeah, the entire rest of the video almost.
Pretty much, yeah. He repaired Haplo's heart rune, which is magic tattoo that keeps Haplo alive.
and hating the Sartan who consumed
Yeah,
our
in the actual novel series, the patrons are actually covered almost in tattoos. They put tattoos on their arms, across their chest, across their backs, and then cast magic by invoking them.
You see,
The only tattoo they have in this game is the heart rune. So.
made it for us, if you can believe it.
Yeah,
When
instead
we
they do
emerged
magic
from the
by
labyrinth,
drawing
we were
runes
supposed to
in
be
the air
dust,
like everyone else.
rehabilitated, brainwashed. Instead,
Uh,
we hate our Sartan.
The Sartans imprison the patrons in the labyrinth, as Zar is telling us.
There are libraries.
Didn't really work out well for
Since
them.
my escape, I've been studying them. They tell me much, but not all.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when a jailer goes completely insane.
Yeah,
And
the
when the jailer is the labyrinth.
the Sartans were supposed to be waiting for them here in the Nexus.
We were winning.
Also didn't happen. I'm not really sure why.
That was 2,000 years ago. Something went really wrong.
Yeah. We saw the guys doing this thing in the intro. They broke the world into 5 pieces. The labyrinth... Honestly, the labyrinth was probably the shittiest piece, but that's kind of arguable.
Speaking of which, there's the mensch races.
Oh yeah, the mensch. I cannot take that word seriously, because in Yiddish, my family's Jewish, and in Yiddish, mensch means like a good person.
Our ancestors were trapped in
No. It clearly means elf or dwarf.
Or human, don't forget humans.
They plan to
Because the patrons and Sartans are not human, is an important thing here.
Yeah, they look human, they can pass as human, but they're not human. And that will become something of a plot point.
Without the guidance of the
Yeah,
Possibly.
Zar and the patrons are kind of pissed off about this whole labyrinth business, because the labyrinth, well, as Zar has mentioned, the labyrinth is intelligent. It has a mind. And this will never come up again. But it hated them and it wanted to kill them.
And it did so successfully for a very long time.
Yeah, Zar here is the first guy to ever escape the labyrinth, which should give you some idea of how long
before you passed out. You should be proud. Now,
I mean,
son, I need you.
Of course, you only need 2 spells to get out of the labyrinth, but he clearly knows at least 3 to get out so quickly, you know?
Yeah. He says that we told him that we were going to walk out on our own. You didn't see that in the intro video? Game kinda does that sometimes. It doesn't like animating some things.
Yeah. We're trying to guess what this game finds important and what isn't. It's a futile effort.
Yeah, so Zar's going to let us ask him
dominating.
questions now. He's not going to stop dominating the conversation, he's just going to let us ask questions.
The Sartan commanded their dwarven slaves to forge
How did the thing in the intro video work?
It consisted of 5 metal hexagons.
So, the world, as we said, split into 5 pieces. The seal piece for the Nexus is that rock that's above Zar's head.
Yeah, we'll see that again later.
Yeah, much later. It's right where it needs to be for quite some time. The other seal pieces, on the other hand, those are not where they need to be.
Tell me about the other realms.
Certainly, my son.
So let's find out about the magical worlds that are not this shithole.
They based 4 of them on the elements: air,
Well,
fire,
this
stone,
shithole,
and
yeah.
water.
Well, yeah, there are other shitholes.
Air, fire, stone, and water, and the 5th is labyrinth.
Yeah, it's Greek elemental system, I think.
Yeah, the Sartan are actually based a lot on the, Greek philosophies and ideals of order and Platonic ideas, and they will all wear white robes in the novels and all that kind of stuff.
And obviously the patrons don't. The patrons like black.
Yeah, the patrons I think they make a huge effort to explain that patrons wear simple shirts and hats. Wizards who wear hats.
No one in this game wears hats.
Nope.
With much better weather.
So, yeah, Arianis, kind of a shithole. Parts of it are nice.
The books don't say much more.
You know, if you like getting thirsty, you know, if you don't mind getting thirsty, you can go to Ariane.
The realm of fire, or Prian, is a hollow word.
Prian's a nice place. It's a Dyson sphere. Everyone lives inside the sphere.
They live on the inside.
Kind of an advanced concept for a fantasy series.
Yeah, it's really pretty neat as an idea. At least. Execution, we'll see.
That's the byword for the series. This is a 7-novel series, and I like maybe
What do
2
you
of
know
them.
about the realm of stone?
Abarak, realm of stone.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, Abarak. I said that the labyrinth was maybe the biggest shithole in the entirety of Deathgate. This might be bigger. Might not be. It really depends on how you look at it.
I agree perfectly
Can
with
you tell me
Char's
anything about the
assessment of this realm.
water?
Chalestra is the realm of water.
Perfectly horrible.
And in fact, it is a
Chalestra. Chalestra
At
is
its heart is a
really
sea
cool,
sun
I
which
think,
warms
anyway.
and lights
It's,
the interior.
It's got the sea sun, the sea moons, which are apparently
Exposed as it is
alive.
to the cold of space.
Yeah.
Sea
And
moons orbit
honestly,
the sea
it
sun.
it sounds
They are
really
hollow,
really
living
cool.
creatures which draw
Yeah, I hope
energy
we'll get
from
to
the
see that
sun.
someday.
Inside,
That would be
the
nice.
Sartan built cities to house not only the Mensch, but
And it's
themselves.
apparently where the Sartans intended to live once everything was done. So, well, most of the Sartans. Presumably they were supposed to live everywhere, but
Have you learned
as we
anything
see with
about
the
the
Labyrinth and the
Like I
Nexus,
explained,
that didn't really
the
work out.
labyrinth was supposed to rehabilitate our entire race.
A lot of things
Sartan
didn't really work
control.
out for the Sartans.
Yeah.
Would have been difficult, even
Like this
violent.
rehabilitation thing. Like,
The
the Sartan are
disappeared
kind of
with
interesting.
some
They
problem
they
of
imprison
decades.
their absolute worst enemy, but they don't want to kill them. They want to rehabilitate them.
Started to kill us.
On the other hand, they wear KKK robes. I mean, that was a thing.
Well, yeah.
Toyed with us. Always gave us just enough hope to keep us fighting.
Anyway, the Labyrinth didn't want to kill the patrons either, but that's more because the Labyrinth
Had
really
never
enjoyed
dreamed of,
watching them suffer.
but we bested it. We escaped.
A
And
lot.
more of our kind are escaping all
Char
the time.
is actually kind of special. He's the only patron who not only who left the labyrinth, who actually re-enters it.
If my plan
Yeah, he goes back in to
unfolds
get
as
other
expected,
patrons
I
out,
will
or at least he
free
tells us
everyone
he
at the
does,
same instant.
because we are never
Bring
going to
an
see
end
another
to our
patron
imprisonment
outside
once
the
and for all.
Labyrinth.
What
And
is
we're not
this
really
place
gonna see
exactly?
Char
It's
move
not the
either.
labyrinth.
No, he
It's
doesn't
known
really
as the
leave his
Nexus,
desk.
kind of a way station. This city is where the Sartan
He's
was
just
supposed
going to
to
sit here
watch over the
reading for
labyrinth.
quite a
I believe
long
they were
time.
going to
Zar
give it to
really
us as a
likes
place to live
reading.
once we had been
And talking.
rehabilitated.
Oh yeah, likes to
Makes a
talk too.
perfect staging area
He's
for my
almost as
plan.
verbose in the novels, which is amazing. They actually captured the character correctly.
The Death Gate is a
Yeah, that's
It connects
a lot of
the
other
fire
characters
realm.
get changed.
With the
Zar
right
doesn't.
magic, anyone can cross the Death Gate from one realm to another.
So, okay, Zar now mentions the boat. We use the boat to cross through the Death Gate, and you might think that would be dangerous.
It's always been my
No.
intention to send an emissary, or
Yeah,
more
well, you know,
appropriately, a scout.
Char has made
In fact,
preparations.
I
He
was
didn't put a light
afraid
bulb
that
in your
you
boat,
would
but
be
he
my
he
eyes
prepared
in
it.
these realms.
Yeah, he's our boat is ready for us, and it will take us through the Death Gate. He's done all the magic he needs to do to that boat.
The books describe the
And he's
necessary
sending us
preparation.
because
You need a
something
ship,
something.
one powered by magic
Well,
with
he's
intelligent
far too busy to
guidance.
do it
You
himself.
need
He
a
has books to
steering
read.
stone magically treated to guide
Oh, yeah.
the ship through the portal.
I mean, it's worth
But
mentioning in the
upon
original
stone,
novel, one of the
also
books
the
left in the
name of
in the labyrinth, which he
The books
reads,
state this, but
is the
neglect to
Bible.
actually show the ruins, as if they were common
Yeah,
knowledge.
the actual
None of the
Bible
books depict
from
these
Earth.
ruins. For
The
years,
Earth, yeah.
I've been researching the subject, reading
Yeah.
every document, poring over
It-
every
it's
single
that
file.
kind of
We should
series.
probably mention that the guys who wrote this book were Mormons.
That of Arianos, World of Air.
Yeah,
It's the only one I've been
Tracy
able to
Hickman
reconstruct,
and
it's taken years. I don't even
well,
know
you can
if
fill
it's
it with
possible
Yeah,
you.
the other guy.
Given the pitiful research materials
Yeah,
I have.
Margaret Weiss.
It's
Yeah,
my thought
Yeah.
that the other ruins
They
may
are
They-
Mormons, and
inside the
this is a
world
very
of
Mormon
air.
book
For
series.
some time,
Extremely.
I've been planning to send
But
someone-
so Zar has managed to reconstruct the Rune of Air.
Yes,
We have no idea
the
how
Sartan
he did
were
this.
kind enough
There is
to leave
never an
me
explanation
for
for how he
It
did it,
didn't have
because
the steering stone
there are
such a
no
ship
runes
requires, but
anywhere
I was
in the
able to
Nexus.
reproduce one
But he did it.
As-
without the naming
as he
rules
will
of
explain,
realms,
yeah.
of course.
Let's go back a step.
Certainly.
And so
Can we
without
talk
the
about
naming
something
runes
else?
for the realms, you
course.
can't get there
What do
through
you
the
want to
Death
know?
Gate.
and that's
Where
going
did
to be
Sartan
our
disappear to?
I
essential plot progression of the game, I believe. We go through the world, we try to find out how to get to the next world.
Yes, we're looking for the rune to the next world, and the seal piece for the world we happen to be in.
I have a few theories. It's possible that they did
So,
vanish.
Czar has no idea where the Sartans went either. No one really has any idea where they went. They're just not here.
When the time is right, they will return with our death.
Tsar naturally believes that they're hiding and are going to kill us all.
In any
Well,
case,
Czar doesn't really like the Sartans.
I must know where the Sartan went to.
He wants to kill them before they can kill us because, you know, they imprisoned us in the labyrinth. Kind of a bad thing to do. Kind of a dick move, guys.
Yeah.
Then we shall destroy them.
And then we shall destroy
Where
them.
the Sartan
Yazar kinda jumps between being that grandpa you really like and crazy racist grandpa.
As we have black hair with white ends, the Sartan have white hair with
As he mentions, all patrons have black hair with white tips, and the Sartans have the exact opposite. For reasons.
This achieves balance in the universe.
Yeah, I didn't say they were good reasons.
They will be no match for us. They will look into our eyes and find
So,
mercy they
yeah,
gave us.
Czar doesn't really plan to imprison the Sartans in the labyrinth. He just wants to murder all of
And
them.
their own deaths.
Oh, they do wear KKK robes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an understandable goal at this point.
Over your heart became weaker and weaker when I
Ah,
discovered
yes, the
it was
heart rune.
virtually broken.
The heart rune is not really explored in the game. The game doesn't really feel like going into any more depth than Czar is giving us here.
In the novels, the heart rune is what allows the patrons to perform magic. Basically, it sort of externalizes the magic within them and allows them to affect change in the world.
Luckily, I found you in time.
And if it gets broken, you're probably dead.
It repaired your
Yeah, Czar was able to fix Haplo's heart rune with his own life force, so, thanks, Czar, that was really nice of you.
I'm sure that will definitely not come up later in the game.
Once we were the greatest sorcerers in the world.
It doesn't.
All patrons are sorcerers. Every patron and every Sartan that exists can do magic. This is not true of the other races.
We have forgotten many spells because they were useless.
This is sort of the defining feature of the Sartan and Patron. And in this game, they all perform the same magic. That's not the case in the series, but really it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the game just simplified it because putting runes together was more interesting visually than having Haplo say he was using his tattoos, because we never see more of Haplo than the little face we get when we click the spell icon.
Magic is based upon possibilities.
Well, okay, that's not quite true. There is a brief period where we get to see Haplo.
Yeah.
Imagine that a stone wall blocks your path.
But for the most part, we don't see Haplo. So yeah, magic works because quantum.
Literally.
Yeah, that's really it. It's quantum physics via willpower.
How do you cast a spell?
I mean,
Spells are made up of
that's not an exaggeration in any way. The novel series has a huge appendix in one of the books that explains, yep, it's quantum theory.
This doesn't actually make any sense within the bounds of quantum theory, but you're going to shut up about that because Tracy Hickman said so.
And the Death Gate is a wormhole, maybe.
Yeah, the Death Gate doesn't make a ton of sense either, but we're just going to accept it. It's a magic portal, we can fly our boat.
Simply to watch someone casting it. All you have to do is mimic the motion.
Here's a hint on how to play the game. We're going to learn spells by watching people cast them.
Yeah, all Haplo has to do is see a spell once, and he can do it. But Haplo's not very good at coming up with spells on his own. The game does not reward experimenting with the runes.
When I was a kid, I was stuck on that screen for so long trying to find out like new combinations. It doesn't work that way at all.
There's a few puzzles where you have to mess around with runes, but for the most part, no.
Too soon. Finally, one may discover a spell permanently placed upon an object. When a wizard wishes a spell to be permanent, he can magically prepare an object to receive the spell, then cast that spell upon
So,
Then the
yeah,
spell
you
is
can find
always
spells
visible.
put on
It
objects,
engraves itself
because
upon
to
the
cast a
surface
spell
of
on
the
an object, apparently you have to
By
carve the
studying
runes
it,
on it,
one
except for
can
light
learn the
bulbs.
spell.
Oh yeah,
Can you tell me
obviously.
anything about the spells I already
There is no
know?
light
I'm
spell
afraid
that you
the
can
white
learn from the light
your
bulb.
repertoire is rather limited. You know only the most basic of spells.
Like most patrons, your repertoire is rather limited. Yes, the only thing you need to survive in a wilderness that is out to kill you deliberately is heat and cold.
In fairness, the other two spells that Czar knows, not very useful for the labyrinth.
Here we go.
Identify and
Yeah, he's going to teach them to us, and both of them will be vital to our quest in very, very different ways. But neither of them would have helped us survive.
Yeah. Identify is essentially a look command, or like an examine command for any magic object.
It tells you whatever the magic you pointed at does, which is really handy, but not very good at keeping you alive. Rune Transfer, on the other hand, does one thing. Just one. It moves a picture from one thing to another.
It's super important.
Oh yeah, without this, we would not be going anywhere in the game.
After I teach you the spell,
I
Yeah.
mean that, really. We need that spell.
Yeah.
You must take it aboard the ship
And
to
here
the
Shar explains exactly how you're supposed to use it.
I still screw it up, but
Of course.
it's
Following that, the ship will be
the game is very clear on how to use the spell, but the actual mechanics of using it are not as clear as they
name the remaining realms. Hopefully, in your travels, you will discover these.
So he has the Arianis rune on a rock, which he's going to give us, and that will let us get to Arianis.
The world of air.
Hopefully Arianis has one of the other runes in it, because if it doesn't, we're kind of screwed and this plan goes to hell
How do
immediately.
you get back into the labyrinth? to
God,
help our
even
people
more
survive?
topics.
Yeah, Czar is not going to shut up.
Letting them out that it doesn't like.
Oh, there's another explanation of the labyrinth.
Yeah, the labyrinth hates Czar, personally.
Before it throws
This
It's
will never, ever come up again.
Don't believe that I'm not afraid.
In fact, most things related to the labyrinth aren't going to come up again, because, well, having an intelligent, malevolent prison is really cool. They never actually explored it.
Yeah, to be honest, they didn't really do it in the original novels either.
So, whatever you're imagining the labyrinth is like, it's probably cooler than what it actually is.
The world. Much like the Sundering,
Ah, yes, the master plan. The world was exploded apart, let's just mush all the pieces together again.
Czar's had years to think about this. I'm sure that he's thought out all the problems that might be involved here.
You must be my
Obviously.
agent. I need you to go into the realms and
So, he could go and do all this shit himself, and he knows a lot more than Haplo, because Haplo does not know anything,
free our
but he's going to send us to do it.
And, you know, it sort of does make sense, because Haplo, quite frankly, is expendable.
Oh, yeah, completely. He's just some guy that Czar helped get out of the labyrinth, and if you listen to Czar, he's got a few of those people.
The stone will then be able to
Whom we'll never meet.
No, never.
Realm of air.
But,
see.
but Haplo is just one of them, and, honestly, if Haplo dies, Czar does not.
Them somewhere on Arianos. I also wish to know what happened to the Sartan.
And here's the other part of our quest. We have to figure out what the heck happened.
Yeah, the Sartan are gone, and the patrons don't really have the magic that they would need to go fight the Sartan when they find them. So, we're going to be keeping our eye out for spells and evidence of what happened to the Sartan. We really need new spells because, we and Czar, between us, know 4 spells, period. 2 of which do absolutely nothing useful in combat.
Now I shall teach you the 2 spells you will need.
Well, you know,
That is
Being
the
hot?
entire, yeah, that's the entire magical knowledge of our race.
watch closely. Wow.
Oh yeah, this,
This is
no one
the
bothered
rune
to
transfer
animate
spell.
Czar.
Study it. Remember it.
At all.
This next construct
Oh, hey.
defines the identified spell.
Yeah,
Watch me again.
what the hell? Yeah, let's just do this twice. Thank you. Yes, excellent.
That's all, my
Yeah,
son.
just keep your eyes on Czar there. He will show you exactly how to do this.
Do not fail.
Then he does this as well.
Yep, he He gives us our stone marker with the Arianis rune,
You can
and
sort
goes
of tell
back
that
to reading his book.
you can sort of tell that this engine is based on a text parser first.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's our spells.
Identify is a very simple spell, which only uses one rune, which I honestly think is kind of neat. It seems like it'd be the most basic magic any wizard could cast. The Arianis rune, by the way, is not inherently magical at all. It's just a rock.
Yeah, we're not gonna learn the runes of the worlds. That's never gonna come up.
No,
And
you can't use those to cast spells, I guess.
And there's rune transfer. Now,
rune transfer, as I read it, is even more niche and specific than I thought. You can only transfer runes onto a specially prepared surface.
we'll see how far that goes.
Yeah. As you see, this is a valid line combination, but that one's not, but it's not actually a spell. Doesn't do anything.
And in fact, most combinations are not going to do anything. Don't experiment with them.
Yeah, it feels like you should be experimenting, and it would be really neat if it did, but the game does not reward you for doing so.
Also, we went northeast, and hey, gate!
Yeah, this is the gate to the labyrinth, which Haplo will not enter. He does not want to go back there, ever.
Especially with this kind of weather. Damn.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
really terrible.
Was there something else you wished to discuss?
That's enough.
No, there was nothing else.
No, we're good, Czar. We're good.
Very well. I'll be here.
We might talk to you later, much later, when we actually need to, but, and we can't steal his book because he's reading. I want to know how the water damaged it, because the Nexus seems pretty dry.
Yeah. Oh, hey, a ship.
Here's our boat with our hole in the hull, which would be a problem if this boat were intended to go on water, but it's not. This is a space boat.
It's very aerodynamic. In the original series, actually, he doesn't have a ship until after Arianas, because Arianas is, is where he gets the boat. He just tosses himself through the Death Gate in a gigantic meteor.
That would have been harder to draw, though.
Yeah, obviously.
So, if we did not have our light bulb, the hold would be pitch black and we'd have to go get our light bulb. But since we have one, we can just put it in place, Haplo knows where the light bulb goes, and we can see.
A small mercy, there's not a lot of pixel hunts in this game.
What there is a lot of is kind of obtuse conversations. People in this game are not very smart, Haplo included. We cannot take our light bulb again, though, because it is stuck in its holder. Fortunately, we will never need to take our light bulb again. And as I said, I kind of messed up on rune transfer because I thought, oh, I should cast this on the steering stone, where I'm going to transfer things to. Well, this turns out
Nope.
no. Now, we need to cast it on the marker, which we then transfer to the steering stone.
It's not a very complex operation, but it's a little bit unintuitive.
Yeah, but we do get a lovely cutscene of the marker getting the rune transferred onto it.
Oh yeah, this they animate.
Oh yeah, they put a lot of effort into some things.
It's basically random.
Yeah. So now we're going to sail our magic boat into the Death Gate, which really is much less dangerous than what we're going to actually fly into on the other side.
I wonder what the rigging is for.
Well, you can't have a boat without a mast.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
It's a space boat. All space boats have masts.
Also, the Death Gate is a portal in space.
Yeah. Dying never really gets involved with the Death Gate. And we're not going to get to see the storm that we just kind of flew into. But rest assured, there is a storm, and it is forcing Haplo to make an emergency landing on the lowest, shittiest part of Arianis.
Yeah. Not gonna dispute any of that.
We will
Yeah,
see more of Arianis next time, but we just spent 20 minutes talking to Czar, and I think that's good for an update.
Let's call it a good one.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. That was episode 1 of Deathgate.
And I hope you didn't watch all of that.
Yeah, some people might be interested in what Czar had to say. It's possible.
It's technically important.
So, if you did watch through all of that, thank you. If you didn't, you aren't watching this now.